This is AFTV VIP, the official web app with members-only content, has no ads and a live in-game match centre. The bias predictor, it has daily polls and the AFTV 11 selector. Just one click away.
Good morning, everyone. Hello. Good morning on this Sunday morning. The weather outside is dead, but we're here to lighten up your day. You know how it goes. The AFTV Daily News Show. We've got a lot to get through, a lot to talk about. So stick with us. And without further ado, obviously, I have to bring in my guy, as always, my other co-host, James V. How are you? How are you, bro? You good?
Another day closer to Premier League football, so I'm good.
Praying, literally, honestly, like that's a great shot. That's what I'm waiting for. Just the return of Arsenal, man. Like, honestly, this is getting a bit painful now. Obviously, we just want to see our club back playing. Obviously, the first game's of Leeds, so that we come back to, which is we're going to talk about today. It's going to get some comments up straight away. Good morning, this is G. AFTV morning, James V. Come on.
Hello.
Come on, people are back. Everyone's here. Love it. We're going to take you through Sunday. The main talking topic of the day, we have quite a few to get through, so stick with us. But the main talking topic is, Partey, really. It is Partey. Will he be ready for Leeds next Sunday? That is the big question. It's a fear of mine right now. I'm going to obviously talk about, I think, the Aston Villa game. I'm not going to say had his best game, but still, as soon as he left the midfield, it was clearly obvious that we were lacking in authority, breaking up play, stopping them, getting forward. I've been researching all morning any injury updates. Obviously, he didn't travel for the international break. He didn't travel. He stayed in North London, so he was rested. But when it first happened, we got told it was a minor injury. So, I mean, he's still got a week of recovery. I was reading some telegraphs today about how if there was an update, but there was not much to be said really, apart from it was still minor. It's only a thigh injury. He should be back for Leeds next Sunday. James, what happens if he's not back? What happens? What happens? And people watching, what happens? Tell us.
I mean, look, we got some good results and some good performances out of this team without Thomas Partey. Forget he's only played a couple games, but you do feel that we're in a particularly vulnerable situation, and you need your best players and you need your best midfielder, especially when the midfield has been the issue. I think he will be fit for Leeds, but it is a little touch and go. I never like it when you don't hear that much from the club. That will be a tactical thing. Yeah, they don't want Bielsa to know who's fit, who's not, what the likely lineup can be. They want to keep their cards close to their chest. Yeah. And it is an international break, so there's absolutely no reason for them to give us any updates sooner than they have to. But that's not really the point. I mean, whatever he had, it was enough for him to come off and not finish the Leicester game. Normally with a knock, sometimes kind of adrenaline gets you through, and the fact that you're stretched and warm up and you can get through the rest of the game. The fact he didn't, I think, was a little concerning, but I'm quietly confident he'll be okay for Leeds.
Yeah, same. What about... Oh, no, not this comment. Oh, my God, sorry, that was my bad. This one. This is a bit of extreme HD. Partey is average, though. I mean, whoa. Like, I'm not one to, obviously, early days, not one to gas up a player, but he's clearly shown when he came in that he's someone that the opposition should be worrying about. He dominates the midfield. I think if we don't have him next Sunday, we're going to have a lot of problems. Do you know what? The reason why I say that is because he is very athletic, Partey, and Leeds are going to come with us, and they're going to do what Aston Villa did. They're going to come full steam ahead. They're going to press. They're going to run us down. They're going to give us limited time on the ball. And I just feel like he's someone that once a player goes past him, which I saw, he will run his backside back to take out the player or intercept the ball. When I watched him play when he first came in, it's when he lost the ball. So when he did a pass and he lost it, his reaction was so fast. So I feel like, again, I know we spoke about Xhaka and Partey, the dynamicness of each other. And we said Partey is definitely more dynamic than Xhaka. But I know I'm moving on fast. I don't wanna like, I know I said that about Xhaka, but I'm not gonna shoot him down because last night's performance for Switzerland against Spain, he had a great game. I saw him doing box to box, which I haven't seen in a long time from Xhaka. Literally, like in the opposition's box and in our box defending, he seemed. I'm not going to say I watched the whole game because I didn't, but I watched in-depth highlights and he seemed like he was at it. So again, been screaming. All these international players that are doing well, please bring it back to Arsenal next week. He got a full 90, which was also a great sign because obviously he had 45 minutes in the last game. So I think that was part of Switzerland's plan. So your thoughts? I don't know if you saw the game or if you get
no. I'll be honest, I didn't see the game. Xhaka's a funny case, right? Because I remember when he was coming through as a youngster and he was being talked about as like one of the next big midfielders in Europe. And he was sort of looked at as a box-to-box player. He was looked at someone who had energy in midfield. Not that he had maybe the speed to get around, but he had energy, stamina, and he was good on the ball. He had a good pass. He had very good technique. Arguably, that's kind of what we need in our midfield now. But over his kind of Arsenal career, he developed more as like a defensive anchor man who would just basically, almost like with all due respect, like a less advanced Xabi Alonso, someone who basically just sit in front of the back four and spray passes all day and get a bit stuck in when they could. So I've always kind of wanted to see Xhaka given that little bit more freedom and see if he can do things getting up the pitch. When we beat Norwich and Project Restart a few months ago, we scored a great goal where Luiz pinged out to Tierney, or maybe to Aubameyang and then Tierney. Anyway, one of them cut it back, and it was Xhaka who got in the box and scored basically a lovely left-footed sweeping finish. He made that run from defence to midfield to attack and finished off a lovely move. So he's got that in his locker. But it's a tricky one. Do you want to use him in that role when Ceballos and Partey could maybe do that? And they seem to have a little bit more offering in the final third. So it's going to be interesting, but that's definitely one of the solutions we can look at if Partey's not fit. The nice thing is that no matter what we say about our problems in the team, we do have options. So
you just answered this question. BLZ Sync. So this is what who should we replace Partey if he's injured? I think and I think Xhaka will have to be the stand in there. As much as fans, I don't know if people are gonna, like, fans and myself, if he can rise that challenge, but I think that is his role really. If Partey's out, Xhaka, you're in. I don't think El Nenny's the straight swap for Partey, especially after his last performance as well. I think Arteta trusts more in Xhaka. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, because that key word was trust, right? Like, I know what you mean. I think Arteta trusts Partey. We know he trusts Xhaka. Does he trust El Neni? I mean, at times, evidence would say he did, because he started him at Anfield. He started him away at Man United. So I think in some ways he does. But I know what you mean. Like, who's that kind of, I don't want to say leader in midfield. I'm sounding like Roy Keane now. But who's that kind of, who's that discipline, right? That guy you can sort of trust to take your instructions and put them out on the pitch. And Jack is kind of your man for that. But I could see him preferring El Neni and Ceballos because of their dynamism. They get about a bit more. I mean, really, El Neni, Ceballos, Willock, that'd be the midfield I'd like to see.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's maybe a little indisciplined, but it's dynamic.
Yeah, for Leeds, I was gonna say, you're right. To be fair, to press the ball and get at them or chase if they're chasing, that'll be a good, not a bad three actually to go with if Partey is out. Now, Junk Bunny BD says Arteta needs to film meeting with midfield players, tell midfield players their role in details, and show them their weaknesses to improve at the training ground. And midfielder problems will fix. Now, I've been a player and I've had this. This is what it's not Arteta's job to do this. They have like a sports what was he? Not a sports scientist, but they have like analysis for the team, and they'll film the game. They'll go through it in sections where you could have gone wrong, the passes the decisions you made. Right? They'll highlight it. They'll say, this is what you should have done instead of this. This is what you should have done instead of that. Now, that's all well and good. And if I'm honest, at times I did benefit from that system within a club. However, the way the Premier League has started, the difference in teams and the capabilities of different the way teams play differently, it wouldn't work. Just showing a midfielder, this is what you should have done, this is what you need to do, that won't change. That won't complete the midfield problems, unfortunately. But it is definitely a thing that happens in clubs. But I don't think that will help going forward in the Premier League.
Do you not think maybe the problem is that Arteta does a bit too much of that, or his coaching team and the people he has, maybe they're doing too much of the instructing? Like when I look at us play, I feel like I'm watching a team of robots. Now defensively, that's great. That is great because organisation and structure to defend a goal is what you need. But organisation and structure to score goals in modern football, it's not it. You need free flowing football. You need fluidity. You need creativity. You need people using their instinct. And I sometimes feel like that's kind of gone from our team a bit. I don't know what you think, but
I agree. I think we spoke about Arteta overthinking everything, and he's quite. He analyzes everything, and I feel like for Arsenal at the moment, that's where we're urgency, the lack in urgency going forward. And I feel like that's due to probably Arteta in training doing passing patterns and trying to break down his defence in training. And when teams come up against a low block against us, again, we haven't got the players to get past it, to unlock a low block. So yeah, James, I think Arteta a lot of the time just overthinks things.
Well, let me ask you. Okay, just going back to step one here. If Partey's not available for Leeds, who do you want in the midfield to like address these issues we've been talking about? To counter for the fact that we don't have our rock in the midfield there. Yeah, what's your 2, 3, maybe a diamond? Don't know what you're thinking. What would it be?
Okay, sugar. Didn't see this one coming. Xhaka, definitely Xhaka. He's gonna have to play in there. Next to him, I haven't got the answer for that yet. Maybe I would love to see Willock, but I doubt he will do that against Leeds. I don't think he'll throw Willock in there for his Premier League debut. I think that would be a bit harsh against Leeds. So Xhaka, maybe it's going to be Ceballos or El Neni, but in front of him in the 10 role, Pepe or Willian, bro. Probably, I'd like to see Pepe in there. I know it's a wild card. I doubt Arteta will go with it, especially when he hasn't had time to work on it because everyone's been on international duty. But I'd like to unlock it. Pepe in that 10.
You love this. You love this Pepe 10 idea.
Yeah, because bro, he isn't. We have him. We have him. We have to use him. I don't believe. He's not doing good enough on the wing. Neither is Willian, by the way. But if we're going to use him, I think technically he'll fit perfectly in that 10 role. So and then maybe Willian on the right. Might as well use all 4 attacking players. I know. Go on. I don't know what's your thoughts, but I think that's. You look like you're about to disagree, but. What else can we say, James? Honestly, guys, get involved as well. Let me know, like, what else? Come on.
Okay. You know when you.
Go on, carry on.
You know, all right. When you set up tactically and you play a number 10, so your number 10 is basically one of 2 things. They're either like a false 9, like a second forward that drops in.
Yeah.
Think Wayne Rooney, Dennis Bergkamp. Who else did that quite effectively? Sometimes Van Persie did that quite effectively as well.
From up top, you're talking about,
yeah. Like it would be a 4-4-2, but really your strikers dropped in and made it playing that sort of 10.
Yeah.
Your 10 is the more attacking of a natural midfield 3. So, for example, Santi Cazorla is a good example. You might have a midfield 3 with Santi Cazorla in it. Oh, everyone's agreeing with you. Okay, all right, I get it. You might have Cazorla in a midfield 3, but really he's the one coming forward and playing as a 10, whereas the other 2 are a bit more disciplined. I think with Pepe, if you're going to put him in the 10, you are looking at more of a striker who's dropping in. You're looking at more of like a 4-4-2. So that might give Aubameyang more support. I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be against that, to be honest. Or at least for the sake of trying something different. But I don't think you're getting someone. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, I think if you have Pepe in the 10, you're leaving us quite light in midfield. So that's okay. But then you might want to have Partey and Xhaka, who are more disciplined. Partey and El Neni, like Ceballos and Xhaka. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't think you could then have a Willock who's playing as a box to box. Like, for me, it starts to feel a little bit imbalanced.
Okay. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. I'm just going to quickly just go over this. Calvin says, guys, someone tell me how long Partey is out. We haven't got full confirmation yet. We're still waiting. Kind of said this at the beginning. We're waiting to hear. But it's looking likely that he will be available for Leeds. But Arteta's not giving anything away. And why should he? He probably won't. Because it gives Leeds another problem to deal with. I just want to say this. We got some other opinions, which I actually like here. Put Saka at 10, Nelson on the left wing. Now, I think Saka should play on the left wing instead of Pepe in the 10, Aubameyang down the middle, then Saka on the left. Now putting Saka in the 10 is fine, but I just feel like having Saka and Nelson both starting, it's a lot of youth in there. I think against Leeds, I feel like Arteta still needs time. They've just come back from international break. I don't think he'll go with that, but I wouldn't be angry at seeing Saka in the 10. I just don't think now's the time for that. I would answer this. BLZ Sync, but we did a whole show on it, bro. Go check it out. Do you know what I mean? It's going to keep it moving. What else we got? Oh, we don't like this one. What you said? Oh, no. G100. Thoughts, James? 4-4-2 needed. You know, I'm definitely not a fan of the 4-4-2. But,
I've never liked the 4-4-2. And this is why I have a slight issue with Pepe and your idea of Pepe in the 10. It's not. I don't disagree that he can do damage in that position. I just think if he's playing there, we are going to look more like a 4-4-2 than a 4-3-3. If that makes sense, because when you defend, the 10's got to do something. So when you're defending, right, and you're playing a 4-2-3-1 with a number 10, that number 10's got to do something. Either they press with the striker, or they drop into midfield and it's a midfield 3. So I think with Pepe, it looks more like a 4-4-2 when we defend. And I just wonder if we're going to lose a little bit. But back to the question, in terms of the 4-4-2 itself, yeah, I don't know what you think. I just think it's dated. I think a couple teams know how to play it really well still. Southampton, Burnley for a long time were able to play it quite effectively. Atletico Madrid have always played it quite effectively, but I just don't. Yeah, sorry, I agree with nuclear atoms. I do agree. I think we're past that. Southampton do it quite well, in fairness, but I'm not sure it's. What do you think, Seth? I mean, I know you don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it. I think it's dated. Playing it is. Depending on your strike partner, yeah, it depends on your strike partner. But if you really look back at like top strike partners, we have to go way back to Sierra and Reed days and Bergkamp days. Like you can't. There's not really great well, there is partnerships, but it's more a 3. It always has been, and that's how the game's moving. I feel like that's more effective. I feel like players of strengths lean towards a 4-3-3. 4-4-2 is quite rigid, and in my opinion, it's very defensive, and it's shown if we stick to this.
And also, players have developed. Like players are more specialised than any ever before. Like, yes, there's diversity in the game, and you get your odd gem like Saka who can play like 6 different positions. But on the whole, like if you're a midfielder now, you're making a decision. Am I number 10? Am I an attacking midfielder? Am I box to box? Am I CDM? Am I ball winner? Am I deep line playmaker? You know, like you're really specialising in key areas. And I feel like the 4-4-2 doesn't allow you to specialise. Like you can't be a number 10 in a 4-4-2. Like you're totally exposed. Like Ozil couldn't just drop into midfield and play in a 4-4-2. Very few players could adapt their game like that. And so, in fairness, Arsenal might have midfielders who are more suited to a 4-4-2, but you're suddenly asking midfielders to be able to do a lot more than just their specialised role.
Yeah, agreed. There's a good comment here. Zach Banson says, "Forget Pepe in the 10, Cecil." Ow. I felt that one. We need a 4-4-1-1 formation. Use Laka as a centre forward, false 9. Aubameyang up front so they can bounce off each other. Pepe right mid. Now, just so the fans or people watching understand, so 4 at the back, 4 in the midfield, then 1 just in front, which is technically the 10 role. I know you're saying it's a false 9, but and then Aubameyang in front of him. Now, it's different to the 4-4-2. It's kind of similar. It's just basically 4-4-2, but the striker drops in. I think, in my opinion, defenders, I think they find that easy to pick up and defend. Only because it's gonna sound harsh, but only because Laka right now isn't a striking threat. I know you're saying and playing him in a false 9 and let him drop in, but if I was a defender, we can be like, do you know what? Don't worry about him. He's not going to cause us too much problems. The 2 will pick up Aubameyang, and he will be snuffed out, in my opinion. Lacazette hasn't proven to me enough that he can create chances or even put them away at the moment. I know it's harsh, but I think it's time for
Pepe in that role is a good shout. I'll be honest. I'm with you on that. Like, and this illustrates exactly what.
Yeah, it's
this illustrates exactly what I was trying to say. Like, Pepe in the 10 wouldn't really look like a 10. It'd look more like this formation, a 4-4-1-1. So I wouldn't, for the sake of trying something different, it might work for us. I'm not convinced, but I wouldn't be against seeing it.
Agreed. There's a person that's wanted me to say Eder Milito so much in this chat, so there you go. That's it, done. Which players are improved under Arteta? Ooh, I want to move on to the next topic, but this is a nice one still.
It's a good
Kevin,
question.
a good question. Which players? I love the dead faces. Halloween's gone, my bro, but it's true. Some have got worse. I want everyone to answer this question right now. Everyone, let's just get this one rolling. Talk to me, James. You go first. No, I'm trying to think because a lot of the players that we
How long
say
have we got? I mean,
break it. Listen, the few players.
Look, I actually think overall, I think pretty much everyone's got better. I do. Genuinely, I think.
Wow.
I mean, let's look at the ones who are considered a particular liability. Xhaka, 1,000,000% has got better. El Neni, 1,000,000% has got better. Luiz, Mustafi, all got better. Socrates, we've not seen enough of. Maitland-Niles, I'd say, got better. Saka, I think, has got better, and he was already on an upward trajectory. Aubameyang did get better, but he's obviously struggling a little bit now. Holding's got better, yeah. Lacazette's got worse. I think he's one of the few. I'd say I think he played better under Emery. Thank you, Shambola KP. I agree.
Yeah.
Pepe, indifferent. Fine. Then he's got worse or better.
Maitland-Niles? Whoops.
Maitland-Niles, yeah, I'd say, Maitland-Niles got better, I think. Yeah.
Mustafi, I agree here to an extent. Slightly, I'm going to say.
I actually disagree. I think Mustafi's got a lot better. I think before his injury, he was in good form. I thought he looked a much better player. Like, to the point where when he got injured, I remember a few of us were like, "Oh no, like that's actually a real shame." Bellerin's got better. I'd actually say Tierney hasn't got better, but he's not got worse.
Yeah.
Tierney's just a model professional. Like, Tierney, I think, is always going to give you 7s and 8s. Despite him being in a bit of bad form now, as we pointed out the other day. I do think Tierney on the whole he's always solid and reliable to a degree. So, good question though. What do you think, Cecil? I mean, anyone I've missed out?
No, I feel like that is right. I feel this comment's a bit interesting. Xhaka hasn't got better. His output last season was way higher. I don't know about that.
But Faisal, I hope I pronounced that right, Faisal. Thanks for your comment. It's good to discuss that because, you're right. Saka's output was higher last season. But remember the positions he was playing. He was playing left wing and left back. He was getting into good crossing positions. At the moment, his job's not really to do that. At the moment, it's more linking defence to attack. He's not getting into those dangerous areas as much. Look what he did for England when he played left wing back. Crosses into the box, winning penalties, nearly getting assists. Like, you know, he still's got that. He still has that in his locker. He's just not been asked to do as much of that. That's probably a problem with Arteta. So yeah, good.
Good. Yeah, that was a good
point. But
okay,
yeah.
I'm just gonna move. We're gonna move on because time's rolling. But we're gonna talk about Matteo Guendouzi now. I'm gonna spend only a brief bit of time on this because it's quite a negative statement. It's from Kevin Campbell saying that basically Mikel Arteta's put Matteo Guendouzi on detention. He's saying that he won't play for Arsenal again due to his attitude. We all remember the sending off at Brighton. So he got sent off there just from a reactional.
I don't know if he got sent off. I think it was like a retrospective telling off or something.
Oh yeah, grabbed him. He grabbed him. You're right. So that he says that he has attitude problems. That's why he's been put on loan as well. This is what the statement said. This is from the Evening Standard, and it's what Kevin Campbell was saying on it. Just basically saying when he grabbed the striker Neil Maupay by the throat as Brighton beat Arsenal last season. He said that basically he doesn't think that he will play for Arsenal again because of his attitude problems. Now, I hope he does, because I hope he does come back at some point and has a career at Arsenal. So I actually like Guendouzi. I think he's.
I like Guendouzi.
He can play. He can play. The only thing that I want to talk about is not his role models, but the attitude at the Arsenal camp has been questionable at times from players. The Ozil situation last season, Xhaka walking off. Look, as a young player that I was, you always look to the first team to set the example. I just feel like even with like the likes of Bellerin and stuff, not saying Bellerin has a bad attitude, but he just does his own thing at times. I feel like he has his own personality, his own things going on at times. I think as a young player looking at those the examples, I'd be questionable at times of, well, how do I conduct myself? That's my take on it. I don't know. It's quite a big statement, but that's how I think, and I feel like he might be being a bit hard done by. He won't ever play for Arsenal again due to.
That's interesting. It's an interesting point you raised there. Do the club have like just an internal personality issue? Like maybe certain players aren't model professionals who give their all to football. Does that set the right example for youngsters? I'll be honest, not sure. I feel like there's plenty of very good role models in the club. I think David Luiz, Aubameyang. I think Granit Xhaka, despite what happened a year ago, I think is a model professional. Guendouzi's a really funny one because the talent's there. The attitude on the pitch is there, like his like doggedness, determination to win, like throws himself into everything, like he's brave, he stands up to the fight, like he's got all that. I can't question him. I guess I'll say one thing on this, which is there are a lot of players whose attitudes or mental approaches to the game have been in question under Arteta. And a lot of these players made comebacks.
Yes.
So we saw Maitland-Niles do some time out of the team. He came back. We saw Granit Xhaka was at war with the Arsenal fans. He came back.
Yeah.
I mean, who else is there? Mesut Ozil, but then he went back out again. So I think if Guendouzi and Ozil aren't making comebacks under Arteta, I think there's a real reason. Because I think a lot of players have been. Danny Ceballos looked like he was going to go out on loan in January, as in he was going to go back to Madrid and go somewhere else. And he didn't. He stayed. And then he re-signed because Arteta loved him so much and he built a good relationship there. So I think there's always a way back under Arteta. And I think if there isn't, there's something more to it. And I think these players got to own up to it a little bit more.
That was a great listen, James. That was a great breakdown. That was good. Stephania says, I don't think we should sell Guendouzi. I think we need more Arsenal fans and Arsenal players. Someone will play for the team, if you know what I mean. So basically, will play who represents the badge that we would die for as a fan. I think you're right. Do you know what? And I actually think Arteta is changing the attitude within the club, and I feel like bringing in the likes of Gabriel, Partey, they're gonna they're going to be the role models and the figures that, as young players coming through, are going to be like, do you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna ride out for the club regardless.
Yeah.
Okay, move on off that topic. Last couple, Arsenal interested in Brenner from Brazil. If you guys don't know, I've done the highlight thing where you watch his YouTube highlights. I haven't actually been. Normally, you think this shows the best stuff, but I haven't been impressed with all his highlights. Basically, he's a 20-year-old striker, and Arsenal have been linked with him. Now, he's got a £45 million release clause. He's playing in Brazil. He's a Brazilian, so people are saying bringing him in will have a good link up between Luis and Gabriel, and it's another young Brazilian. However, I hope it doesn't. Not that I hope it doesn't happen, but what I've watched of him, he's a very much Eddie Nketiah sort of player. He's only 5 foot. I think he's 5'8", so he's quite a small striker as well. He's strong. He's strong. He's physical. And when I read about him, it says within about a year he will fit in perfectly for Arsenal and do the role that Lacazette's not really doing. And I'm just like, I don't really want to wait a year. I know it sounds a bit spoiled childlike, but I haven't really got time to wait a year. If I'm honest, it's true though. Like, I don't want to wait a year for him to just sit on the bench. And the way Arsenal are bringing him, leaving them, I haven't got time for that. It's just do you know what I mean? They think that him and Martinelli will be a perfect partnership as well when he comes back. But what I've seen of him, that's not the striker we need right now.
I know. I'm with you. I don't really know much about him. Obviously, naturally, when you hear we're linked to a young Brazilian striker, it's like, yes, sign him. Like, just bring him. Who cares?
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes you get your Martinellis and sometimes you get your Julio Baptistas. Now, in fairness, he was a perfectly recognised striker doing bits at Real Madrid before he came to us on loan years ago, like 2006, 2007. But, you know, I do get it. There are times, Yaya Sanogo, I mean, he wasn't Brazilian, but we signed him. He had a big rep when he arrived. Young French striker. He was pretty bad, I got to be honest. He really struggled to adapt to our level. So, you know, it's kind of one of those, it's like, but if he's a better profile of striker, if he does what Arteta wants our strikers to do, I'm glad we're looking at these players, but yeah, I can't comment too much, really.
It's done. Yeah, okay, fair. Yeah, like I said, it's just another young talent, James. And if I'm honest, we have the academy for the young talents. I don't think he lights the world up. Doesn't light it up. So, in my opinion, I think we should just stick. There's other that would benefit from having within the team than Brenner. But I know we are linked with him. But
and also, but it's everything around the deal as well. It's not just a young Brazilian prospect who can play up front. It's all right, 40 million. That's a lot of money. That plays for Szoboszlai, as we discussed yesterday, and more. And what does that mean for Moller in the academy, Balogun, like strikers who they're getting a really good reputation in the academy, who are starting to do well in first team trainings, if you believe what you read. And it's like, okay, do we need to be spending that much money on a potentially unpredictable signing? But look, to be fair, all I'll say is Arteta's signing so far, I've been in favour of. Even Cedric and Mari, I think Mari's not played too much, but he's looked good when he's played.
Cedric's been good, and Mari, I actually feel will be decent as well once we see more of him. But I don't think they're bad signings either.
Partey and Gabriel. Willian's the only questionable one, really. But
true, that's a fact.
But he's the one who came with the most proven Premier League reputation. So it just goes to show, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's annoying, James, because I scream, okay, it's all well and good, but if you can't do it in the Premier League, then it's pointless. You can have all these wonder kids from abroad. Like, it's going to sound harsh already, I'm shooting the kid down, but like Brenner, he was playing for Sao Paulo FC, and it looked great, him running through players and that, but I was like, bro, that doesn't happen in the Premier League. It doesn't happen like that. You don't just watch.
We don't do that here.
Yeah, no, we don't. You get lifted and you get taken completely out. So yeah, I agree. I can't believe Willian has right now been the biggest flop so far. Yeah. So right, we are. I mean, we're running. The comments are still flying in. Thank you everyone for your comments as well. I see you all. Been monitoring them. Keep bringing it. Keep commenting. Before we go and round up this show, I have a little surprise that James doesn't even know about. I spent some time building this. So I'm going to play it. It's basically just the full weekly roundup of the AFTV daily news show. It's our news show every day through lockdown. We are here giving you the latest news. I've got a little montage for you. Basically, take a look at all what happened during this week, and yeah, stay tuned for next week.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Enjoy as well, James. Listen, thank you very much. Peace.
Yesterday's debacle against Aston Villa, absolute shambles, where we were destroyed at the Emirates by Aston Villa. I want you guys to get your comments in and tell me what you thought about that performance yesterday.
And yes, this is part of the process, and yes, this is a bump in the road, but it doesn't mean that you should just get on with it, because it really affected me, that result, because of the way that we fell apart. It just gave me so many flashbacks.
Taking the lead on this news on Thomas Partey and the thigh problem he picked up against Aston Villa. Now, he had to come off at half-time, so it was an injury he sort of sustained during that first half.
The problem is going forward. The problem is scoring goals, and the problem is creativity as well. So it's not all Lacazette. He's not getting enough chances, but ultimately it's hard to make a case that he's not changed that we need to see. So I would bench him, and I would try something else.
I don't believe Willian and Pepe are at the level yet. They're not doing what I think Arsenal need, which is creating chances, crossing the ball in. And for me, it just shocked me, those stats. So
Free Saliba.
Yeah.
William Saliba, who we bought not this season, the season before, for nearly 30 million pounds.
If we don't have the money to bring in players in the summer, we're not going to have the money to bring them in January.
And if that's just how he feels, and he's not misinformed, and he knows all the facts, and he's educated, and he still sees it that way, then big man, that is you. You stay over there and do what you're doing. Don't bring your controversy to my world. Yeah,
exactly.
Otherwise, I will bring the controversy to your world, and you ain't gonna like it when we do that.
We've been screaming it for a while. The fans have been screaming it for a while. But when it comes to things like this, right?
Mesut Ozil, right? We'll be lacking creativity in recent games. It's clear and obvious for everybody to see. Turkish. However, this guy is the most creative guy in the team.
Obviously, they spoke about it back in the summer 2019, and the rumours are still out there. And the way he's impressing at the moment for Hungary and for Salzburg as well in the Champions League.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.